Allegations that Shadrack Sibiya tampered with the crime scene of the night Senzo Meyiwa was killed. Mashale alleged in the post that Sibiya ordered a warrant officer to reconstruct the crime scene of that night and maliciously charging him with robbery, kidnapping and extortion because he refused his request. According to Mashale, warrant officer Makubo was acquitted of the charges after 3 years.
So the main reason for Shadrack Sibiya to be there was to go there and take the firearm that killed Senzo. See? Yes. And then the message arrived. Before Sibiya arrived there, the message was received by Kelly to say, please make sure the firearm is safe. Don't hand that firearm to the police or Vosloorus.
In the whole system, it can't be that I'm the only one who interfered, who did this and that. Over and above, there are many people that are in the system with a matter that has been handled since January, with a lot of feedback being given, a lot of meetings being held, going in and out of parliament discussing the same matter. Now, how do you then pin it on one individual?
Not just witness, eyewitness will testify that Senzo Robert Meyiwa was allegedly shot by Nonhlanhla Kelly Khumalo by mistake, as it is alleged. Do you have a response?
No response on that, my lord.
The same eyewitness will further testify that the firearm used to shoot Senzo Robert Meyiwa by Kelly Khumalo came with Longwe, and the firearm is a revolver. Any response?
No comment on that.
And you remember that on the same day there was a meeting in that house between the senior management of the police in Gauteng. That will be including the MEC of Safety and Liaison, by then Nkosi Malobane, with the family. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember you asking me about that, and my answer was my answer is now I can't comment on that as well.
PEP was formed in 2013. We went around consulting our people on the options that we had, whether we should form an economic emancipation non-governmental organization which will agitate for economic freedom, or we should form an economic freedom that will be a lobby group aligned to the ANC, or should we form a political party? They said we must form a political party. Then we engaged in the process of drafting what we call the founding manifesto of the EFF. And in that founding manifesto of the EFF, that's where the policies of the EFF are contained. So from election to election, whatever you promise should be aligned to that founding manifesto. So let's talk about 7 non-negotiable cardinal pillars, for instance. They are in the founding manifesto. Expropriation of land without compensation is in the founding manifesto. So even if I so wish to get rid of it as a new president of the EFF, I've got no option, because the founding manifesto is not a subject of amendment. It stays forever. It's not a constitution that from conference to conference you can change. You have to make sure that you follow the founding manifesto. Then all of those policies are the ones that we've been advocating for in Parliament. In the founding manifesto, you find a minimum wage, for instance. We spoke about minimum wage in 2014. in 2013 founding manifesto, 2014 election manifesto, went to parliament and sponsored a bill on minimum wage. The ANC rejected it initially, and ultimately in 2018 they agreed to it. And we were saying in 2014 no one must be paid less than the lowest paid worker must be paid 4,500. They refused and said a worker must be paid 20 rand per hour, and then a farm worker 18 rand per hour, and then domestic worker 15 rand per hour. If you calculate that money in 40 hours, it gives you 3 point something thousand, right? So which means the ANC said per month people must get less than what the EFF said they must get in 2014. 2018, then fast forward, the latest adopted one says no, they must actually get 27 rand. The good thing about it is that it's not now categorizing them, unlike the previous one which was saying farm workers, says minimum wage 27 rand. So between 2018 and now, if you calculate 27 rand, there's been an increase of 7 rand, and these people are now getting 4.6 or something like that, achieving what the EFF said in 2013, that no one must be paid less than that amount of money. So I'm using this to illustrate a point that we implementing that which is the founding principles of the EFF. Went into parliament and said we must amend the constitution to allow expropriation of land without compensation. From 2014 fighting for that, 2 years ago the ANC then says we agree, let's establish a committee which is going to investigate if people agree for the expropriation of land without compensation. Went all over South Africa. Majority of people agreed with us, both in public participation and policy submissions in parliament, agreed with us. The ANC, we came here, there's a hotel here, I forgot the name. We went to have a meeting there with the ANC. Very senior comrades of the ANC were sent there, including, I remember Bulela Nmuga was there and others. We agreed on expropriation of land without compensation. When we go back to parliament, having collected this and agreed with them, they bring an amended motion that we will expropriate land which belongs to the state and rotten land. What do we do with the rotten land? Because what rotten land is not those things of wet land. And then how do you expropriate that which you have? And then they say we must vote for that. We said no. And then they went out and said they voted against expropriation of land. They don't finish it. They don't say this is what we were proposing. They just say expropriation of land, but they don't explain what the amendment entailed. It's like Zuma when he went to vote for the killing of Gaddafi in the UN Security Council. He came back and said, I never voted for that. I voted for no-fly zone and stopped there. When he said, I voted for no-fly zone and stopped there, Floyd added that you voted for no-fly zone and any other means necessary. So that any other means necessary is what killed Gaddafi, and you voted for it. So you ought to listen to the detail of it in order to appreciate where do these people come from. Not once have we ever compromised on the expropriation of land without compensation. Mr. President, I don't know wittingly or unwittingly, when you were answering the question about our relationship with the USA, not once have you mentioned DERCO or Minister of International Relations. And this is as a result of you having met Elon Musk during the UN General Assembly and knowing very well the views of Elon Musk about South Africa, racist, white supremacist views about South Africa, which led to you meeting him because you thought you were going to clarify those issues. Unrepentant racist became emboldened and then made more
bad remarks about South Africa even after meeting you physically. You still saw a need to go outside the diplomatic channels and made a contact with an individual, not using diplomatic relations or mechanism within which we resolve diplomatic disputes as South Africa. Don't you think you individually have emboldened white people to undermine us, and you have single-handedly destroyed the diplomatic relations of South Africa with other countries, and you have destroyed and juniorized the Department of International Relations? Mr. President. And le swantse le tsebe gore nto ya o bolela le ditsotsi tja o tshwana le bo Elon Musk go re taletša ka bana ba makgowa. And worse, Elon Musk, you organized a meeting with him or that telephone conversation through his immoral father, politically, economically, and otherwise. A man who has engaged in business in South Africa through illegal means, even when he has admitted to do so. Those are the type of characters you can't speak to. Imagine, Mr. President, had they said Donald Trump called the Guptas during that time. What were you going to say? You are going to say that Guptas are an independent state actor. You are not going to say that. You are going to feel undermined. And that's exactly what you have done. What are you saying about established practices of resolving issues in a diplomatic way and diplomatic channels in South Africa? Do you have a full confidence in the Minister of DERCO and the department itself? You speak about an ambassador in Washington or New York. That ambassador belongs to the Department of International Relations. Instead of talking about international relations, leadership, and the department, you talk about ambassador. But when you talk about DRC, you talk about Minister of Defense is doing 1, 2, 3. You don't say ambassador in DRC is doing 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much.
Get ready. Welcome to Dr.